Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Tom Spark. Today we're checking out interesting findings from an interesting article where the guy's talking about permissions in Android and VPN and how VPNs use certain permissions and stuff like that. What could be considered suspicious and what could be considered something that you don't want to have with your VPN. So today we're going to take a look at some of these permissions in a table that I made to kind of extract some of this data so we can look at it clearly. And we're going to check out and see which VPNs have suspicious privileges on the Android App Store and which ones that don't. Anyways, guys, let's get into the video right now. So some of the common permissions that are given up that are okay would fall under Android Permission Internet. This allows VPN applications to open network sockets and stuff like that. Another okay one would be Android Permission Access Network State, which allows VPN apps to access information about various networks. Another okay one would be Android Permission Wake Lock, which just keeps your device awake. Another okay one would be Android Permission Receive Boot Completed, which just notifies the device user once the restart is completed. Another one would be Android Permission Access Wi-Fi State, which allows VPN apps to access information about Wi-Fi networks. Another one would be Android Vending Billing for in-app billing purposes. Google Android C2 DM for permission receive is just to push notifications. Google.android.finsky permission.bind get install refer service just gives the VPN developer information about how the user arrived to the app before installing it. So for the most part, these are okay. And another one, finally, Android Permission Foreground Service keeps the VPN application running. And then Android Permission Change Wi-Fi State just allows VPN applications to change the Wi-Fi connectivity state. Now, what about some of the bad permissions that you don't really want for a VPN? Well, those would include such things as Android Permission Write External Storage, which allows your VPN to write to external storage. And you also don't want something like Read External Storage, which allows the VPN to read external storage, such as your SD card. Three other things you want to look out for are Android Permission Read Phone State, which allows your VPN or application to read your phone state, including the number of the device, current cellular network information, and the status of any outgoing calls. So this is way too much information for them to have. Another thing is you don't want them to get Android Permission Access Course Location, which allows the API to use Wi-Fi or mobile cell data to determine the device's location. It's not something you want to be giving up either. Lastly, you don't want to give Android Permission Access Find Location, which allows the VPN app to access the user's precise location. That's a big no-no. So what are some of the common applications that do some of these bad things? Well, here's a list of all the applications that I've been able to find that have dangerous permissions and aren't probably VPNs you should be using. This includes the likes of Yoga VPN, Prox XVPN VPN, Hala Free VPN, Seed4Me VPN, OVPN Spider, Switch VPN, and Zug VPN. Now, besides these kind of 6 VPNs that do the most bad things, there are also a number of other VPNs that also do bad things, maybe to the not same extent. So these VPNs had the most suspicious, I guess, what you would call permissions. But there are many other apps that at least have one of these bad things that should, require your permission. So in order to use a VPN, I wouldn't suggest using any VPN that has a suspicious permission. And I'm going to show that list to you right now. So as you can see, all these VPNs, I wouldn't use any of these VPNs. And some of these VPNs actually include stuff that I've recommended before, namely something like private internet access. But even that, I've kind of given people warning that, management is a little bit sketchy. But we see other commonly recommended VPNs in here that have suspicious permissions, like NordVPN. So there you go. Now, which other VPNs don't really have any suspicious permissions? Well, I'm going to put the list right here. And we do see some stuff that I've recommended, especially TorGuard VPN. It's my top rated VPN. It doesn't have any suspicious permissions, and it actually doesn't have too much permissions at all in terms of custom permissions at all, or really that many permissions at all. So it's a very secure app, and it stays true to the brand in that they're very trustworthy. So guys, let me know what you think of this list. Are you using a VPN that has suspicious permissions? Are you using a VPN that has no suspicious permissions? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And remember, if you want to check out my recommended VPNs, check the description down below. But in terms of the permissions, TorGuard really seems to be the only VPN that I would recommend in terms of these permissions. Seeing how private internet access and Windscribe do have some suspicious permissions in terms of Android. As for the other VPNs in the category of no suspicious permissions, I would recommend something like Safer VPN is pretty good to use. IPVanish is decent, but they've had logging issues in the past. But besides that, there really isn't any other VPN in this category of not having suspicious permissions that I would really recommend, because they're just not that good of VPNs after all. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this video. Let me know what you think of it down below, and I'll see you again very soon.